Law enforcement agencies are working to protect Super Bowl 57 from threats that we've come to expect. Terrorism, for example. Also, though, the Super Bowl has the reputation for prompting an increase in crimes like human trafficking. Advocacy groups, including one named It's a Penalty, use the Super Bowl and other big sporting events like the World Cup and the Olympic Games to raise awareness about human trafficking, the signs to look for, and what to do. WATE 6 on your side legal analyst Greg Isaacs joining us right now. Greg, as always, glad to have you here.
Good to be here, Bo.
So let's talk about human trafficking. And first of all, just talk about the link. Why we see these major sporting events like this. What's the link between sports and human trafficking?
Well, human trafficking and sex trafficking is a $150 billion industry nationwide. And you see spikes when you have sporting events. The FBI is working with the NFL to highlight sex trafficking and combat what's going on.
Well, let me ask you this then. So we hear the term human trafficking a lot. We see it in the news. We see it reported. A lot of people may have an idea, but kind of walk us through what are we talking about specifically?
Well, Bo, for example, here in Tennessee, there are approximately 89 individuals that get sex trafficked every month. We have some of the strongest laws in the nation. The FBI actually gives Tennessee an A+ on our vigilance. You'll see the TBI routinely during the course of the year do stings for human and sex trafficking, but it can range for something such as forced involuntary servitude, where people are kidnapped, taken away. You can be transported for commercial sex, but also for just patronizing prostitution, promoting prostitution. That constitutes human trafficking and very serious penalties under Tennessee law, Bo.
And again, this kind of goes back to if you see something, say something. If you're just the common citizen, you've noticed something that seems out of sorts, immediately go to the authorities.
And when you see programs like this, It's a Penalty, and the TBI's stings that we have here in Tennessee, John Q. Public needs to realize, for example, if you engage in patronizing prostitution, and often you'll see ads on Craigslist, they'll make it obvious so they don't catch the unwary, but if you wind up soliciting or actually engaging in a sex act with somebody that's under the age of 18, Bo, the penalties can be 15 to 25 years in prison, no probation.
All right, and that's something to think about. Greg, as always, we appreciate your time.
Good to be here.
All right. And I want to remind you, if you have a legal question for Greg, you can reach out to him by emailing AskIsaacs@WATE.com. And remember, we talk with Greg every Wednesday at 5:30 right here on WATE 6 on your side.